This is war. This is war. Did you love it? Because I loved it. I'm high on feelings right now. All of the Ichabod, all of the Abby, they're such partners, and I love it. Okay, so it started out very, very confusing for like 15 minutes. Was everyone feeling it? Because when I saw that they were kidding, they had not skipped a year ahead and left us in the dust. Tell me that Jenny's dead. When I realized that they were joking, haha, just kidding, gotcha. I was on board because I'm like I've been confused for way too long. Like, reveal something, because I'm starting to believe that this is very real and I'm not happy. So started out confusing. It's been a year, blah blah blah. Ichabod's birthday. It was, Abby and Ichabod were cute. Talk about something they lost. They both lost people. Ichabod lost Katrina, but of course my heart only got hurt when Abby said that she lost Jenny. So it was all a ruse by Moloch and Henry, because they want to find this key that belonged to Benjamin Franklin. This like key of Hernia or whatever, base that opens purgatory. Loophole. You can't leave purgatory unless you've been forgiven or someone takes your place, and now unless you open the door with a key. So they figured this out. So I asked who was going to get out first. It was Ichabod. He realized that there was sulfur. He was all tasting the dirt, all nasty. And he realized there was sulfur on the ground. So he blew it up and he freed himself. My Queen Jenny was captured by Henry personally. He told her that her sister left her. And Ichabod left her and all that stuff. And then he left her because he was looking for the key. Jenny had delivered it or retrieved it for Corbin. So he went and put his hand on her head to read her sin, and he figured out where the key was. Jenny was the second person to get free, and Ichabod hit her up because he knows that Abby is in purgatory. She damn sure ain't gonna get any reception there. So he texted Jenny to figure out where she is. Jenny texted him back, and he saw that he was close. He was by Route 9, so he just had to take a right and get to her. Jenny was shooting and all that stuff, and she got herself free. She was involved in a shootout when all of a sudden Ichabod drove an ambulance through the building to retrieve her. Took out some mitts, would you like a ride? And so she got in, but they couldn't leave because he don't know how to reverse. And so they switched seats, and then she backed up out of there. Meanwhile, Abby is in purgatory. She runs into Andy, who once again has flopped. He flips and he flops. Now he wants to see that there's some good in him, and I'm like, can you please make up your mind? Like, every time it's a different story. When he's with Abby, I know now because he's dead for real. So I know he's gonna be, his story's gonna be straight. But beforehand, last time we saw him, he asked Moloch to make him a monster. So I'm like, Andy, can you make up your mind? So Abby asked for his help. He's like, show me how Katrina was able to communicate with me and Ichabod on the other side. And so then Andy leads her to this mirror, this cave that holds this mirror. It's like a, mirror on the wall magic thing. Completely unguarded. Like, Moloch, what are you doing? You know that Katrina's there. You know that Katrina does not want to be in purgatory. You know she's going to do everything she can to get out. Not only that, you know she's done something like try to communicate with Ichabod on the other side. How many times have you caught her when she was like, Ichabod, go, Moloch is coming, and yet he put no guards, no one to guard the thing. He was trying to raise an army in this episode, turning everyone who's in purgatory into a soldier, but he didn't think to turn like 3 of them into soldiers beforehand to stand guard in front of the cave with the mirror. So Abby and Ichabod, not Abby and Ichabod, Jenny and Ichabod are on their way to get the key because they figure out that it's going to be by Benjamin Franklin's statue. So they're on the way. Abby gets inside, says the magic words, and she projects herself to Ichabod. Ichabod sees her. Guys, the scene that follows. So Ichabod gets in there, and Abby runs and hugs him. Like, her face, she's so relieved, she's so emotional, and she holds him so tight, and he holds her so tight, and it was so beautiful and emotional. And so, he said, I told you I'd be back and all that stuff. And so she says that, leave me here. she basically says, what if, because she's always thinking. And so she's like, what if this is exactly what they want? What if you're leading them to the key by looking for it? What if this is another trap? Because, Henry just played the hell out of them. So she's trying to think, everything could be a trap. And so she says, leave me here. Like, don't come get me yet. And she's all teary. And Ichabod's like, no, I'm not going to leave you. We are witnesses. We are a team. We are partners. The risk is in leaving you here, not in getting you out. Basically, we're stronger together. We're stronger when we're together. Because remember, I was saying, like, why would y'all separate? So he says he's not going to leave her. And so Abby's like, okay. And so he says, what he said? He said, hope fast, Abigail Mills. I'm on my way, or I'm coming back. Something beautiful like that I can't recall word for word. And before that, and just completely perfect. I love that scene. I love the emotion on Abby's face, the desperation when she hugged him, because they had been in communication quasi at the beginning, during the ruse, the 15-minute ruse, where they were looking for the key and they were made to think that Jenny was dead and Katrina was dead, but at least we still have each other and all that stuff. And so when the world finally started to fall apart, because Ichabod realized that something was wrong, they were basically torn away from each other. The special effects on the show are really good. They were torn away from each other, and Abby was like, Ichabod, I think she told him to find the key or something like that. He told her that, hold on, I'm coming, I'm not going to leave you, I swear to you. And while he was underground before he busted out, he left her a message saying that, if you're looking at this right now, I want you to know that I never gave up. I did my hardest. Unfortunately, it didn't record, but who cares? I heard it, we heard it, and that's all that matters. Eventually, he will tell Abby. So, so him and Jenny go, they find the key. Henry, they're looking all up in the wrong place, but Ichabod figures out one of Benjamin Franklin's riddles. Throughout this entire episode, Ichabod had a grudge with Franklin because he was too into himself, according to Ichabod's irony. So they find the key, and they're on their way to the place where Ichabod had first gone to purgatory with Abby. So they get there, and Jenny's like, I'm gonna come with you. That's my sister. And Ichabod's like, no, you, me, and Abby are the only people who know about this. I mean, Irving knows too, but he ain't on Jenny's level. So he's like, if something goes wrong and we don't make it, like, we need you to basically, like, continue the fight and all that stuff. And so Jenny then hugs him because they're all a team, and I love them so much. Like, the three of them just, And so she hugs them and says, remember the rules, don't drink anything, don't blah, blah, blah. And so he says the magic words, looks at Jenny one last time, and then goes forth. So here we are. Abby's in purgatory looking for the necklace that she had, I said last time she used it directly on Moloch and then ran away when he dropped her. And so she's looking for it, she can't find it, and she's like getting frustrated and she's about to cry. And so here comes Ichabod, and he's like, I'm here and all that stuff, and she hugs him so tight, and I'm so taken by this because I'm so taken by them. And she's another tight hug. He's like, I told you I'd be back and all that stuff. And then he's like, oh my God, you're parched. And so he offers her water, and I'm like, like what? Like, he was just buried and now he's just carrying around not even a bottle of water. It's like a little glass thing of water, like pretty kind of. And I'm like, and what part of me is like, what? And so when Abby puts it to her lips, I'm like, I literally said out loud, and I was like, no, don't, because I realized it was fake. So then here comes Ichabod to go out some, no, don't, the real Ichabod. And so Abby pauses. And so then Ichabod turns around, and I thought he was gonna like do something horrible to her because the music crescendoed. I thought he was going to just do some damage, like real damage to her, but he just growled in her face. And so Abby went falling down. And so she's a little no. Then fake Ichabod turns to real Ichabod, and then she jumps on his back. And so then when he throws her off, that's how she gets hurt, and she's disoriented, vision blurry. And so then the two Ichabods are fighting. Then she spots the one with the key because Ichabod was supposed to be coming with the key. So he's like, let's go. I'm like, that ain't him. It's never them when there's two of them. It's never them. Like, the real one never actually gets up first. It's always the evil one. And so they go, and even knowing the trope, the real one never actually gets up first, when they get there, he's like, I got it, we can finally go home. I'm like, no. There was something kind of distant about it. Like, yeah, he simulated relief that Abby was okay, but I'm like, no, Ichabod would be a lot closer to her. And his first thought would not be, we can finally go home, let's go home. Like, he would, like, make sure she's okay. He'd look a lot more relieved to see her and that she's okay and they're about to get out. But this one was like, no, let's go home. Then he calls her Lieutenant. It's Leftenant if you're nasty. He calls her Lieutenant. And so I was like, what? That ain't my moniker. That ain't mine. So for calling her the wrong name, she beheads his ass. And so he goes falling. And here comes Ichabod. He's like, how'd you know? And she's like, well, I mean, we've already established your role. You call me Lieutenant. And so that's how they reunited. And so they're standing in front of the portal. They have the key. Ichabod puts it in and like, kind of like leaves it in. And I'm like, just turn it and go. But he leaves it in. Here comes Mulek making noise. Because he was doing his ritual this entire time to try to raise his soldier. And then he's like, what? What's up? And so he sees that they're about to leave. And so he comes galloping. They finally turn the key and jump out of that bit. And Mulek doesn't make it. The door closes and then the key disintegrates because apparently you can only use it once. And Abby says, let's hope we'll never need it again. Because if they do, they'll be up Ish Creek without a paddle. And so, they're relieved. They're so beautiful, just faces and smiling. And so here comes Jenny, who Abby had thought was dead. That's what she saw in her vision and the hallucination. And of course, when she saw that it wasn't real, she knew there was a good chance that Jenny was fine. But still, that doubt. And so she's like, oh, like she literally does this with her hands and she hugs her sister. And it's so beautiful. And so the music is like, oh, like, da-da-da, everything's fine. Everyone's fine. Everyone made it. They're reunited, which I thought was funny because who's still trapped? Katrina. So, Death had gotten his prize, which was Katrina, and he rode off with her to his shack that he keeps because he has an abode. And so he has her tied down. He offers her some bread because he knows that she's in purgatory. She must be starving. And so he offers her some bread with a knife to cut it. And so Katrina gets the piece of bread, puts it in her mouth, grabs the knife, and stabs his hand, and then she goes to run. I don't know how far she thought she was going to make it. I don't know how much she thought that knife was going to slow him down. More than anything, I don't know why she didn't cast a single spell in this episode. So far, the only piece of magic that Katrina has done has been basically preserving Ichabod's life to make this show possible. That's the only thing. Other than that, turns out the mirror trick was some incantation that anyone can read, including the two non-magical people, Ichabod and Abby. And other than that, she hasn't really done anything. I mean, she floated a twig in the finale, and that was about it. And so, she didn't understand. I mean, I know last time she said that, it's been centuries since she's used her powers on this side, the side of the living, but at the same time, you were all set to bound the earth to stop the horsemen. You were going to take that on, but you couldn't take on some incantations to free yourself. What are they doing with her? And so now she's trapped. She's still trapped. She's going to be trapped for a couple of episodes. If we are lucky, they will save her next episode. Because I do not want to spend more episodes wondering why Katrina is not using her magic, why she's not trying to use her magic when she was all set, of keen mind, sound mind, to use it in the finale. So, girlfriend is still trapped. Death, he's enchanted her necklace. Who did it for him? Maybe Mulek? I don't know. He's enchanted her necklace so that when she puts it on, when she has it on, she sees that he has a head. It's the necklace that does it. Like, I think if someone else walked into the room, they'd be like, why are you talking to this headless man? But because she's wearing the necklace, she can see his head. His hair looks a mess. It's dry, not moisturized. I think it's also lopsided. But that's how Katrina ended her day. I don't remember after he put the necklace on. I don't remember if after he put the necklace on. I don't remember if that did anything. But anyway, she's still trapped. That's all we're gonna take from that. And so the OT3 are at Ichabod's place. And they're so, Jenny's like, we won. She's not even thinking about Katrina. She's like, we won and all stuff. We have a celebration. Abby's like, yeah, we won, but this was like a small victory. She's not really thinking about Katrina either. She's just like, the war is getting started. Ichabod is the one who's thinking about Katrina, but he's not showing any sense of urgency. So basically, they're all fine, and they know that this is war. Abby's like, we're not fucking around anymore. This is serious. We're about to strap up and let's go knock some people out. So that was the episode. That was the premiere. This is war. I loved it. I'm happy that the show's back. It was exciting. It was just just feelings everywhere. I loved all of it. Henry! I almost forgot about Henry. So he's finally he went through his initiation. He got on his knees and he was like, Moloch, I'm so sorry. And Moloch was like, get your ass up. Because we have a new plan. Like, hello, things don't slow down. I've got plans A through Z. Let's go. And so Henry got his initiation. His bodysuit came out with the knife and everything, all his props. And so all that's left is for him to step into it. But it seems like John Noble, I think that's the man's name who plays Henry, he's gonna be around for, they're not gonna turn him into like a stunt person like Death has been up to this far. And I'm glad for that because I like him. He's a very good actor, and I like him, and I want to see Henry's face some more as a villain because Ichabod and Katrina, especially Ichabod, haven't had time to really deal with the fact that Henry is what he is. So I'm excited about that. I can't wait for next week. Comment, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you took everything and what you're looking forward to. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.